addition to being a usual video for this channel, this video is part of an A/B test video pair to see which version viewers like. While you don't have to watch the video twice, it's the same. I'd love to know if you prefer version A or version B. Like this one if you prefer its presentation and filming style, or like the other one, click on the link above my finger if you prefer that. And thanks for helping us pick our best presentation style moving forwards. Our weekend roundup will still be in the studio though, for now, whichever version you prefer. What are you doing this Saturday? If you're anything like me, the chances are that you'll probably start by catching up on some sleep, taking care of the usual weekend errands, and maybe doing something fun with friends or family. But I'm also pretty sure that those things will involve the use of a car at some point. How much car use? Well, that depends on what you're doing and where you're going. Personally, my weekends either result in me not using my car at all, or they result in me using my car a whole lot more than I normally would during the week, heading to some local event or other with a local charity I help run. But this coming Saturday, September 22nd, is World Car Free Day, and I figured it made sense to tell you a little bit about it. No, don't turn off. I know. This is a site devoted to cleaner, greener, safer and smarter transportation, and for the majority of the people watching this, that, to them, translates to electric cars. But here's the thing, well, there's growing consensus that electric cars are better for the environment than internal combustion engine vehicles, and will continue to improve their carbon emissions thanks to the ever cleaner electricity grid. Replacing an internal combustion engine car with a plug-in one does nothing to tackle some of the biggest challenges facing our modern world: congestion, and are an increasingly unhealthy way of living. So I want to ask yourself a simple question on a more daily basis. Can you leave the car at home and travel in a different way? Could you walk, cycle, use public transport? That's what World Car Free Day is about. It's a day where we try alternatives to the vehicles that we've all become over-dependent on, reducing congestion, improving air quality, and hopefully increasing our social, mental, and physical well-being. And if you can, I'd love it if you could join me and try it out for yourself. I'm not talking about staying at home and not using your car either. No, I'm talking about getting out and about and doing the kind of things that you might usually do, just not with your car. Granted, there are some things that you can't do easily without your own personal transport, but with half of all trips in the US being under 3 miles in length, 72% of those trips being driven in some way, and 60% of trips less than a mile in length being driven in a private vehicle, we all need to sit down and have a think about just how much we need to use our cars on a daily basis. World Car Free Day may just be a day, or in some places a weekend, but the idea is that you not only dump your car for a day, but also use your experiences to shape how you commute and travel in the future. Work with your friends, colleagues and neighbours and see what the world could be like if you left the car in the garage for short trips and only used it for excursions longer than about 5 or 10 miles in length. And if you don't own one, why not get a bike or a decent pair of comfortable shoes to walk in, and maybe a coat depending on where you live. I personally walk 3 miles a day despite driving every day to the office, and I love it. It lets me focus on my day ahead and reflect on the day's end, gets my blood pumping and gives me time to listen to music or a good audiobook. And when I can, I take the bike for short trips, although not as much as I should, I'll admit. I know, I get it. If you don't live in certain major cities or certain countries around the world, public transit and cycling is a nightmare. But by walking that 1 mile or by cycling it, you're drastically reducing the strain on the road network and dramatically improving your own personal health too. I understand too that not everyone lives in a bicycle-friendly place. But unless the way to get to where you want to go is along a major road with no cycle lane and no alternative by lower speed roads, well, there is usually a way around it. Even if you're going further, you may find that bicycles and public transit work, especially if you're in the suburbs or live within easy reach of a train station. For example, here in Portland, most, if not all, public buses have bicycle racks on the front, while our light rail and streetcar systems let you hop on with your bike. Don't have a bicycle? Some major cities have bike share schemes that allow you to rent a bicycle by the hour or by the minute, such as the Bike Town program here in Portland. Other cities operate scooter share schemes which, while less good for you on a health level, can still dramatically improve congestion and thus air quality in those larger cities. Staying on the two-wheeled front, if you're worried about being physically capable of cycling, you'll be glad to know that electric bicycles are far more affordable and far more reliable than they once were. Depending on where you live, these will either assist you while you pedal up to a set speed, usually 15 miles per hour or 24 kph, or be capable of providing full power without you pedaling, although you will want to pedal to get the quoted range per charge. Want a bike of your own and you can't afford a new one or don't want to pay a lot? Well, you'll also find that there are bicycle cooperatives or charities that may be near you that operate as non-profits to help you find a cheap but reliable bicycle and teach you how to maintain it. Using cars less is something I've been thinking about for a while, and this upcoming event has given me a polite nudge. This might surprise you, but I grew up in a carless household and I didn't pass my driving test until I was 22. Until that point, I was cycling 50 miles a day between schools in my job as a peripatetic teacher, complete with a trailer full of musical instruments. I'll admit, though, that while I like cycling and want to cycle more, I don't think I'd go back to that level of being car-free, at least not yet. But as always, every little bit helps. So go on, tell me how you're going to spend the day being car-free. I'd love to hear your experiences and stories. And if you have tips for other people on how they can use their cars less and make their transportations even smarter and greener, tell us them in the comments below. That's it. As always, hit the notification bell to hear the moment a new show is uploaded. Subscribe to both of our channels. And if you fancy it, support us by using one of the 2 links below or by buying something from our shop. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep evolving!